As the renovation worker smashed open the wall with a hammer, he never expected to find 3 long-decayed corpses inside. Even more horrifying was the fact that the 3 bodies were seated around each other, and on the table lay their severed genitals from when they were alive. The cruelty of the murderer's methods was truly chilling. Upon receiving the report, Detective Jack and his assistant quickly arrived at the scene. After investigating the site, the coroner stated that the bodies of the 3 deceased had undergone preservation treatment, which explained how they had become mummies. Suddenly, Jack noticed that besides the 3 corpses, there was also an overturned chair at the scene. He deduced that there should have originally been a 4th person here. As for why the murderer ultimately only displayed 3 corpses, the reason remained unknown for now. Currently, the only identifiable suspect was the apartment tenant, Mary. According to the investigation, Mary had once been a nurse but was fired from the hospital due to some extreme behavior. After being dismissed, Mary then went to work at a funeral home. Therefore, she definitely knew how to turn a corpse into a mummy. More crucially, after investigation, it was discovered that Mary had disappeared without a trace many years ago, but she had been paying the apartment rent all these years, most likely to prevent others from discovering the corpses. Based on the clues currently in hand, it seemed that all the evidence pointed to Mary. As a result, the chief immediately issued a warrant for Mary's arrest. Since the source of the rental funds was a Spanish bank account, Jack inferred that after killing the 3 victims, Mary had sealed the corpses inside the wall and then fled to Spain. However, if this was indeed the case, what was Mary's motive for the murders? To uncover the truth behind the case, Jack and his team needed to find something that could connect Mary to all the victims. Soon, night fell, and the assistant called to report that when the Spanish police arrived at Mary's address, they did not find her there. Even the bank account they had traced was closed. Jack immediately realized that Mary must know the police were looking for her. The next day, Jack finally investigated the connection between Mary and 2 of the mummies, the women's sanatorium that had fired Mary. They discovered that 2 of them had been patients at the sanatorium, while Mary was a nurse there at the time. Jack quickly arrived at the former site of the sanatorium, an abandoned small island. At the same time, they found a security guard who had worked at the sanatorium back then. Under the guard's guidance, they soon entered the interior of the sanatorium. The guard walked and introduced them to the situation of the sanatorium in those years. The place was called a sanatorium, but it was actually a prison. The girls here were like inmates, and the doctors were like the prison guards. At that time, this place specifically detained some liberal girls, but in fact, they had not committed any wrongdoing. Yet they suffered endless inhuman torture here. Even more incredible was that this sanatorium was established by the local government. After hearing the guard's account, even Jack and his team found it too horrifying. This place was simply a terrifying hell. Until the sanatorium was closed, the local government never apologized to those girls who had been hurt, only because doing so would harm their own interests. The guard continued, saying that after the sanatorium was closed, many cases emerged accusing them, but they were all mercilessly dismissed by the judge before they could be publicly tried.